Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have been doing these house lords in different nakshatras. We have already completed planets in different nakshatras, and when we are talking about house lords in different nakshatras, we have already talked about the first house lord in different nakshatras, second house lord in different nakshatras, seventh house lord in different nakshatras, and so on. Today I am going to talk about a very important placement which has a huge bearing on our life because of the placement of that particular house lord in nakshatras having a huge bearing on our career, on our professional work, in our ability to gain a certain livelihood, remuneration, and because we know our financial status to a large extent, where we work, how we work, what role we work in has a huge bearing on our life, and hence the placement of the 10th house lord in different nakshatras also has a huge bearing on the life in different matters of life. And one of the very important aspects is also our profession, our career, our work area also. And because the 10th house lord is also connected to our karma, so it's very important because a lot of karmic denotation, a lot of karmic output, a lot of karmic connections get also connected with the placement of the 10th house lord in different nakshatras. So I will also give you that link, particular link where we are connecting careers to nakshatras also, which is another video which we have done. So I'll also give the careers and connected to different nakshatras in the link below. But this particular video, 10th house lord in different nakshatras, will give you some perspective on the career, the work, the profession connected to the nakshatra, but also holistic approach to what the denotation of your karma, your work area, and your actions on a day-to-day basis get connected to the placement of the 10th house lord in different nakshatras. Now, since the 10th house is connected to not only our karma, our work, our career, the authority that we get out of work, our ability to be able to form relations with our supervisors, with our higher ups, and what will be approach to work, what will be the growth potential in work, and what kind of designation we may reach in our career, and also connected to our karma. And hence the placement of the 10th house lord when it goes into the nakshatras ruled by the sun have a huge bearing on what will be the output of our work, of our career as well. Now the sun ruled nakshatras have the fire and the earth energies because one pada of the sun ruled nakshatras is in the fire signs and 3 padas are in the earth sign. So it's a mix of the earth and the fire energies, and so when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by sun, it's a mixture of responsibility, accountability, authority that the placement of the 10th house lord getting into the nakshatra ruled by sun brings in, but at the same time the ability of the nakshatra to showcase one pada of the fire energies and 3 padas of the earth energies will also bring in its own denotation. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Kritika ruled by the sun, where one pada is in the Aries sign and 3 padas are in the Taurus sign, so this is a person who connected to work will be somebody who will be very, very assertive in his work, will also have a lot of stamina to be able to do a lot of work, will be somebody who will work with a lot of conviction, and will be somebody who will, if when given an opportunity, will jump into work, will take up projects with a lot of fervor, and will be very, very passionate about their work. And so if the work is not happening the way that they like, they will not stop at critiquing the quality of work, critiquing the quality of the projects as well. At the same time, these are the people who will put in a lot of effort to be able to get output which is connected to goal orientation, goal achievement, but at the same time, because 3 padas are in the Taurus sign, so here the person also wants a lot of financial output, financial security also from the work that the person is doing. So at one end, the person will like to do a lot of good, well quality work, connected to goals, connected to achievements, connecting to be able to achieve a lot of success in his or her work, but at the same time will also like the material benefits that are coming out of it. If the material benefits are not coming in, then the person's energy will also wane over a period of time. Now some of the professions connected to the Kritika nakshatra can be people who can be attached to the glamour world, people who can be into fashion designing, into home interiors, connected to government projects, people who can be connected to the glamour industry through being hairstylists, but at the same time can also be, because of the sun rule energies, also be into administration. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni ruled by sun, where one pada is in Leo and 3 padas are in Virgo. So yeah, this is a person who in his work in his approach to work is somebody who is very stubborn, is also a very headstrong about how he or she wants to get their goals, how they want to achieve the output from their work. And so this is a person who will show a lot of leadership qualities also connected to work, and will take up the leadership even when the designation may not be there, and then over a period of time will endure in even very hard work, even with a lot of tough projects that they need to do. Very, very ambitious person, but will be very large-hearted with their team leaders, with their team colleagues, with also their supervisors and their higher-ups also. In fact, they will look at colleagues and even people who are their superiors as almost family members, because they will also be people who will have a strong attachment towards the work, because here Leo energies with 1 pada in Leo and 3 padas in Virgo are coming in. So this is an analytical person, this is a perfectionist person, this is a very responsible person, but this is also a very ambitious person. Now some of the careers connected to Uttara Falguni are where this person can be an artist, can be somebody who is a finance professional, somebody who can be a social worker, somebody who can also be a performer, somebody who can be connected to accounts, and overall have a strong perfection towards an analytical work and analytical approach to work as well. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttarashada, where 1 pada is in the Sagittarius sign and 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So the energies of Sagittarius, of go-getting, risk-taking ability will also be seen, but 3 padas being in Capricorn, then the loyalty, the commitment, the organized structured approach will also come in. So this is a person who is very tolerant of certain degree of hard work which the person is put through, is also tolerant of his or her colleagues' idiosyncrasies which they get to work, but at the same time will also be somebody who is very integrity oriented, very principled in their work, almost idealistic in their work. However, at the same time, these people can take a lot of pressure, and so they will take off a lot of pressure also from their colleagues, because they also have a very humanitarian approach to work. These people sometimes can be a little prone to flattery, and their team colleagues can also flatter them and get away, even dumping work on them. So these people have to be a little careful, because being Sagittarius, 1 pada being Sagittarius, being large-hearted, they may succumb to flattery also. But they usually very peace-loving people who will also give into and being very purposeful at work is the people with the 10th house lord in the nakshatra Uttarashada. Some of the careers which can be connected to the Uttarashada nakshatra when the 10th house lord goes into it, these people can be strong influencers, social influencers, people connected to media, people connected to travel industry. Even they can do very well in politics, can do very well in entertainment, or even with a career in education. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mercury, or the Mercury ruled nakshatras, where all the 4 padas of the Mercury ruled nakshatras are in the water sign. So yeah, because all 4 padas are either in Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, so this is a person who will also bring in a lot of imagination, intuition and a lot of emotional attachment also to work. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, so this analytical ability combined with the intuitive, imaginative, nurturing ability of the water signs will also come together. So this is a very strong orientation towards very analytical work, but also a lot of nurturing, imaginative work. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Aslesha, this is a person who will be very controlling of the quality of work they do, how they do the work, and these people will also be able to go through even very tough situations with a lot of resilience. However, sometimes these people can have a lot of restlessness if they are not able to achieve the goals, if they are not able to achieve the output that they want. And they can show a lot of responsibility, they can show a lot of accountability in their work as well. Sometimes these people can come across a little insecure and cannot take competition easily, and hence sometimes these people may come across as a little crafty or even devious, because it is the Aslesha nakshatra. Now the careers which can be attached to the Aslesha nakshatra can be, these people can be somebody who are doctors, or in pharmacy, or physicians, or medical professionals, say for example in surgery, and radiologists, chemical engineers. All these careers can be connected to Aslesha, can even be connected to, say for example, spirits like alcohol, petroleum related products, and sometimes these people can even be sex workers. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, where all 4 padas are in the Scorpio sign, so this is a person who is very trustworthy in their work, And usually these people are very protective of their team members also. Sometimes these people can come across as very rash and impulsive in their work, but very analytical at work also. And sometimes they can come across as a little complaining when the kind of work that they want is not coming out the way they want because of the Mercury ruled nakshatras. So sometimes these people can come across as more fault finding, yet they are able to attract a lot of loyalty because they themselves are very loyal. However, sometimes they can also be very hot tempered and can also burst out into anger as well. So as long as they control this, these people can be somebody who have a lot of heroic approach to work, but sometimes they may also have a certain degree of superiority complex because they feel that they are the best. Now, some of the careers which can be connected to the Jyeshtha nakshatra can be people who are connected to hospitality industry, or the armed forces, or to business, or to strategy, especially organization strategy also, or to the health industry, and especially connected to dermatology also because it's the Mercury ruled nakshatras. When the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Revati, where all 4 padas lie in the Pisces sign, so a lot of water ruled sign energies also, as well as Mercury, the analytical ability also. So this is a person who can be very responsible at work, but also very optimistic at work because these people have the Pisces energies. And so these people will take up a lot of even tough projects, hoping that they will be able to do, believing that they will be able to do a good job. And hence these people can come under a lot of pressures also. However, they have a very idealistic approach to work, idealistic approach to how they deal with the team members, and so may come across as very sincere but soft spoken, and sometimes can also be taken advantage of. Very well mannered at work, very giving, and very nourishing and creative also at work. And usually these people turn out to be very lucky also in their work because of their very principled approach to work also. Sometimes they can also be a little superstitious connected to work. Now, some of the careers which can be connected to the Revati nakshatra, when the 10th house lord gets into the Revati nakshatra, can be all those products which are connected to home conveniences, either selling those products, servicing those products, or working in companies which deal with these products, or say for example domestic appliances, or connected to home decor, or all products which are related to the opposite gender, especially the female gender, and sometimes connected to even teaching or writing, but a lot of creativity will also be connected to their work. Now, when the 10th house lord gets into the Venus ruled nakshatras, where all the 4 padas of all the 3 nakshatras are in the fire sign. So all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Venus will have all the 4 padas either in the Aries sign, or in the Leo sign, or the Sagittarius sign, whether we are talking about Bharani or Purva Falguni or Purvashada. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra, for example of Bharani, where all 4 padas are in the Aries sign, so this is a person who is very aggressive, assertive at work, wants to achieve goals, but has a lot of fierce approach to work and will not take any no nonsense. And so they have a lot of need for forbearance, but also because of persevering in goals even when sometimes the goals cannot be realistic. So these people may come across as a little indulgent also in their work, but the indulgence is for output, the financial output, the materialistic output also. So these people can sometimes be very desirous of the material, the financial gains out of work, and then that also brings in a lot of attachment. If they feel that their fruits of labor are not being paid enough, then they may not be able to show as much energy, as much as dedication to the work also. And so because of having this approach where a lot of materialistic desires get connected to work, so these people can also want to achieve the materialistic results so that they can also indulge in vanity, indulge in more extravagance, can indulge in more materialistic whims and fancies that they may have. Now, some of the careers which are connected to the Bharani nakshatra, when the 10th house lord gets into this, can be connected to either the restaurant industry or the hotel industry, or to food and beverages, or say for example the hospitality sector, or connected to luxury products and services, or to the fashion industry. Anything which can be connected to luxury, the better quality of life in terms of services and products, can be connected to the Bharani nakshatra. Now, when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Purva Falguni, where all the 4 padas are in the Leo sign. So here the combination of the Leo sign energies, the sun energies of responsibility, of accountability, combined with a materialistic denotation, the creativity of Venus will also come in. So this is a person who can be a person who is very loyal at work, very honest at work, and usually these people can also be very lucky. They may attract a good fortune also. So usually very well groomed at work. When they go to work, you can see that this person seems to be a no-nonsense person, a true professional also. And usually they are very generous in how they work. They don't mind working long hours, in fact filling in for their office workers also. And usually these people bring in a very youthful energy, a very playful energy at work also. Very affectionate of their team members also, and somebody who can also work with a lot of independence, wants independence to be able to work with that degree of space given to them so that the output is also high. And usually these people will also attract a lot of honesty from the team members also, and will be very honest and very loyal to also their supervisors, to their managers as well. Some of the careers which can be connected to Purva Falguni are the careers connected to event management, relationship therapists, people who are connected to travels and tours, people who are connected to marketing, and maybe even to sales. So overall, a very high degree of creativity, loyalty and generosity is when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Purva Falguni. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Purvashada, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign. So this is a person who has a very strong resilience oriented approach to work. Yet these people can be very compassionate to their team members, very kind-hearted to their team members, but they will themselves be very striving. Sometimes they are very fearless to take about projects or take on those goals which are not so easy to achieve. And usually they can be very confrontational if their work is not done according to their taste, according to their preference also. And usually these people can also have a lot of argumentative approach when the work is not done as they want. These people don't like to be defeated. These people like to win, sometimes at all costs. So usually these people can also take a lot of risk. Some of the careers connected to the Purvashada nakshatra can be people who are in adventure services, maybe hospitality industry also, in educational industries, so connected to education, or people who are connected to the share market, or people who can also be those people who can be caretakers also, maybe even connected to the fine arts also, and even to the luxury industries as well. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the moon rule nakshatras, where all the 4 padas of the moon rule nakshatras are in the earth signs. So all the moon rule nakshatras have all the 4 padas either in the Taurus sign, or in the Virgo sign, or in the Capricorn sign, whether you talk about the Rohini nakshatra or the Hasta nakshatra or the Shravana nakshatra. So when the 10th house lord gets into the moon rule nakshatras having the earth sign, so these people are very steady in their work, very practical, very detailed, but will also be very creative, but also will have a humility connected to work. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Rohini, where all 4 padas are in Taurus, so these are the people who have a very materialistic, these are the people who get very attached to their work also, sometimes even emotionally attached, because it is after all the moon rule nakshatra. However, because it is the Taurus sign where all the 4 padas are, so this is a person who also can get connected to the finance industry, or can have a more materialistic orientation towards work. The attachment can also come in, of their emotional attachment can also come in stronger, because the work output also gives them a lot of materialistic results also. So usually these are the people who may get into careers which are also connected to the artistic approach, or connected to the beauty industry, or to the luxurious industries, all those which are more creative also. Similarly, they also bring in a lot of creativity and imagination to their work also. And usually, rather than forcing their way through the employees, forcing their way through projects, these people are very charismatic. And because these people are also very creative, through that they will be able to also attract the loyalty of people, and also motivate their people, and attract also emotional attachment from their team members also. So overall, these people can, because of the Rohini nakshatra, can be very creative, very imaginative, and very lucky also. Some of the careers connected to the Rohini nakshatra can be connected to high profile dining, to fashion industries. These people can be good artists. They can be connected to the clothing industry, or to leather goods, or to business, even manufacturing industries, or the luxury oriented businesses, for example to spas, to masseurs also. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Hasta, where all 4 padas are in the Virgo sign. So this person, because of the Virgo energies, is also somebody who can be very, very persuasive, but very, very skillful in their work also. But because of being the moon rule nakshatra, sometimes these people can also be a little impatient, and having the Virgo energies of Mercury can also be a little critical, but can also bring in the creativity and cleverness to work. Usually very, very cheerful at work, and through the ability to be very cheerful, even entertaining but flexible, they can be able to get a lot of work output from their team members also. And usually because they are very, very goal oriented and at the same time sincere, they are also able to attract a lot of loyalty from people who themselves are very strong, professionally connected to their work, have an attachment to work as well. Now some of the careers which can be connected to the Hasta Nakshatra are the people who can be business analytics, consultants, counselors, all those people who are in troubleshooting, even IT troubleshooting for example, or stand-up comedians, or guides, or people who are very good craftsmen also, and even those people who can be connected to volunteer work. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Shravana, where all 4 padas are in the Capricorn sign, so this is a person who will bring in the organized effort of Capricorn energies, the structured approach of Capricorn energies, but at the same time, because it is still a moon ruled nakshatra, being the Shravana nakshatra, so they combine the attachment, the emotional connection, and the order and structure of the Capricorn sign energies. So this is a person who can bring a lot of warmth to the work, and will also likes to bring a lot of their learning ability, will also be very, very fiercely loyal to their work output, attached to their work output, and will bring in a lot of intellectual approach, intelligent approach to work also. Usually these people can also be very, very selfish for the betterment of the department, betterment of the team also, and will also strive that their department gets the better deals, their people, the team leaders also get the better growth over others also. And usually these people are not easily satisfied with the output, and they like to learn more, and they like to learn more at work, connected to work, and use that learning to be able to further their careers also. Usually such people are very brilliant at work and also bring a lot of conventional wisdom also to work. Now some of the careers which can be connected to the Shravana nakshatra can be connected to manufacturing, can be connected to engineering, government jobs, can be technicians, service industries, high precision equipment, and even in the IT industry. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Mars, so yeah, because Mars ruled nakshatras have 2 padas in the earth signs and 2 padas in the air sign, so they will bring in a mix of detailed, steady, practical oriented approach. At the same time will also be people who will bring a lot of intellectual, smart, balanced, social oriented approach also to their work. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mrigashira, say for example, when 2 padas are in the Taurus sign and 2 padas are in the Gemini sign, so they bring in that steadiness of Taurus, the materialistic denotation of Taurus, but also the communication, the hard work of Gemini as well. And because it is the Mrigashira nakshatra, so these people are those people who are very knowledge seeking. They like to seek knowledge to their work, very, very striving, very investigative at their work, very exploring, also connected to work. However, these people can also bring in a lot of nervous energy connected to their work if they see that the work output is not what they want. But very, very clever at work, very curious at work, and sometimes can also fear confrontation with others. So these people usually bring in a lot of tact. And so because of being very tactful, they may also use humor and witty approach to colleagues, approach to even supervisors. They are very, very good in their communication, and so they are able to very, very strongly influence other people, especially because 2 padas are in the Gemini sign. Because they have a more materialistic approach to work also, so they combine their communication with the tact to be able to get their work done, so that they can also have the materialistic success and growth also at work. Now some of the careers which can be connected to the Mrigashira nakshatra are, for example, engineering, teaching, administration, healing, even alternate healing, occult sciences also, or those people who can be connected to the animal based product, even forestry professionals, or people who can be connected in some way to the forest as well. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the Chitra nakshatra, where 2 padas are in the Virgo sign and 2 padas are in the Libra sign, so here they may bring about the practical, the logical approach, the service orientation of Virgo, but also the balance, the social, the partnership oriented approach of Libra as well. But because at the same time it is the Mars ruled nakshatra, that too Chitra nakshatra. So these people are very dignified in their approach, people who are very creative in their approach. They are very, very good organizers, and they will also bring in a lot of passion and energy to work also. At the same time, these people are very, very direct in their approach to work, and so these people can come across as people who are also a little forceful in their approach as well, but at the same time they appreciate beauty, and so usually in their work output you will find a degree of artistry also. They will also like to beautify their work, and so usually many times their work will also be connected to those where you have to combine the analytical ability, the engineering output, the technical output, but also the artistic denotation. Hence some of the careers which can be connected to the Chitra nakshatra can be connected to beauty as well. For example, people who work in the real estate, for high luxurious oriented real estate like bungalows, high value apartments, people who can be designers, people who can be actors, musicians, or people who can be very good at strategy, very good at planning, and people who can also do a very good job in audits as well. Those are the professions which can be connected to the Chitra nakshatra. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Dhanishta, where 2 padas are in the Capricorn sign and 2 padas are in the Aquarius sign. So here they may bring about the structured, dedicated approach of Capricorn sign and the liberal, hard-working, more expansive approach of the Aquarius sign, because 2 padas are in the Aquarius sign. Now because it is the Dhanishta nakshatra ruled by Mars, so these people are very, very ambitious. But these people can also, because of the high ambition, become a little more adventurous than even that is required. And so being a little aggressive at work, these people can come across also as being very, very confident, to the degree of almost coming across as being arrogant also. So very, very energetic at work, and also there are people who will be speaking their mind, but will be very, very practical in their approach to work. People who are still very stable while being very, very practical, while being little over ambitious as well. If their work doesn't get done that the way they want, not only can they be aggressive, but sometimes can even be vengeful, can even also be people who can also be punishing to the team members as well, and they will not hesitate to even get into a fight with their superiors also, to their managers as well. Now some of the careers which can be connected to the Dhanishta nakshatra can be those people who are working in government jobs, or spy agencies, or connected to mining, or connected to armed forces, or the fire engine, or the firefighters, or to the police, and to some extent also to business, and also to some extent to the business or the industry. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Jupiter, Jupiter ruled nakshatras have a combination of 3 padas being in the air sign and 1 pada being in the water sign. So these people will bring about a approach of being very intellectual at their work, very smart at their work, but yet being very social and bringing about a relationship oriented approach to their work. While with the water sign energy, they will be very imaginative, intuitive, and also very nurturing in their approach. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra Punarvasu, where 3 padas are in the Gemini sign and 1 pada is in the Cancer sign, so these people will bring in a lot of communication and very lot of hard work, creativity also, with Gemini sign energies represent. However, sometimes they can also get into a little doubt about what kind of output they are able to get from the work, what kind of output they are able to get from their team members. But 1 pada being in the Cancer sign, so these people can also be very nurturing, very giving, very supportive also of their team members. So usually people who use their high communication ability, influential capacity, and the intellectual capability to be able to get high output from work, and can be very nurturing to the team members, will also want the team members to grow, and hence can be also people who are very forgiving and while being very charming. So they may use their charm, influential skills, their communication skills to be able to get an output from their work, and to be able to influence others to be able to get the kind of work that they want. So these people may come across as very straightforward, but also very benevolent and very eager to get that work done, combining their ability to be more forgiving, more caring, more harmonious, yet having the intellectual capability to be able to get the work done. Now some of the professions connected to the Punarvasu nakshatra can be people who are in publishing, writing, fictional writing also, or teaching, for example, or theatre, even acting, or get into the music industry, can be very, very good at mixing music, and also can bring in a very philosophical approach to their work also, to the writing of. So some extent these people can also be scientists. Now if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Vishaka, where 3 padas are in the Libra sign and 1 pada is in the Scorpio sign. So these people bring in the relationship orientation of Libra, the balance of Libra, and 1 pada be in Scorpio. They can also be people who will keep their cards close to their chest and be a little secretive of their work output, how they get their work done and how they approach their work. And because it is the Vishaka Nakshatra, so these people are very, very energetic, very, very enthusiastic, very, very goal oriented, very, very ambitious also. And so because of being very achievement oriented, if they find that the work is not getting done to the kind of quality of work that they want, they will also not hold back their suppressed anger, and they will also sometimes burst out. Very, very full of vigor while being very liberal to their team members also. But if work doesn't get done to the way that they want, and if they find that people are working behind the back, scheming behind the back, so these people can also come across as very, very aggressive and very, very quarrelsome also. So usually these people with the 10th house lord in the nakshatra Vishaka get into trouble every now and then. But because these people also like to get their work output done, so these people can show a balance between the anger, suppressed anger, and patience on the other side. Now, some of the careers which can be linked to the Vishaka Nakshatra are people who can be scientists, researchers, counselors, psychologists, journalists, people who can be in judiciary, in the mining industry, or even in the jewelry industry. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Purva Bhadrapada, ruled by Jupiter, where 3 padas are in the Aquarius sign and 1 pada is in the Pisces sign. So these people bring him in the expansive, liberal, philosophical approach to work with the Aquarius sign represents, and the more idealistic, the motivational energies, the creative energies of Pisces also. And because it is the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, so these people can be very opinionated at work. How the work needs to be done, they will be very, very opinionated also. Who's doing what kind of team members they have, what kind of manager, bosses they have, even there they can be a little opinionated also. So sometimes because of wanting to get the work done, these people may also bring in a lot of tact and diplomacy also. So sometimes these people may come across as being two-faced also with people, and may also come across as being more cunning. But because these people can also come across as more mysterious, connected to the work, holding the cards close to their chest, so these people can also come across as people who are not very open to feedback as well. However, these people are extremely logical. While to those people who can't understand the way they work, the approach to work, they may think these people are not very practical also, while these people are very resilient as well. So they bring in a certain nervous energy also to the work that they want to get done. However, these people will bring in a certain finesse to work, which sometimes other nakshatra rule energies may not be able to possess. Some of the careers connected to the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra are people who can be very good in coordination, liaising with others, in administration, in finance, can be very good in accounts, can be very good in banking, can also be very good in the writing or the publishing work, and to some extent even in business. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Saturn, where all the 3 nakshatras have all the 4 padas of the Saturn ruled nakshatras in the water signs, which means whether it's Pushya or Anuradha, Uttara Bhadrapada, all the padas of either of the 3 nakshatras will either be in the Cancer sign or in the Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign. So here a certain degree of imagination, nurturing, creativity, which the water sign energies represent, but also the practicality, the hard work, the structured approach, meaning the Saturn nakshatras will also come in. So they will combine these 2 energies. So if it's the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Pushya, where all 4 padas are in Cancer, so these people will also bring in a lot of nurturing, caring, supporting energies also to their work. These people are very, very highly positive while being nurturing, and will be very service oriented, bringing in the Cancer energies as well as the Saturn energies. And so these people will also have a certain attachment to their work, very, very helpful to people, while also being very, very independent, very, very hard working, extremely sincere, and they will also be ready to put in a lot of hard work to be able to get the output that they want, and very intelligent. But these people try to be very self-sufficient also. But because it is the Pushya nakshatra, so these people can also have a lot of high output from work, because of their nurturing nature, because of the positivity, and also because of the auspicious nature of the Pushya nakshatra itself. So these people, some of the careers which can be connected to the Pushya nakshatra can be people who can be connected to the animal husbandry or to the food industry. People can be even in the service industry, say for example, can be vets, or be stewards, or be nurses, or be masseurs, And these people can also, if they have a more technical bent of mind, can also be very good technicians, especially being a software professional industry or connected to IT. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Anuradha, while it is the Saturn ruled nakshatra, all the 4 padas are in the Scorpio sign energy. So these are the people who are extremely logical, very reasoning, and these people can be very organized in the approach because it is the Saturn ruled nakshatra, but will also build a lot of rapport. They will have a certain degree of magnetism because all 4 padas are in Scorpio, and these people are very deep in their work. These people have a lot of depth in their work, in their approach to work. And usually these people have very high expertise, much better expertise over others also, because they have a lot of very learning approach also, in-depth approach to their work also. And so these people, using their logical reasoning approach, will try to create harmony, will try to create the balance also. So usually, because of being very magnetic, 4 padas being in Scorpio, so these people are also very, very popular at work, and usually they can also be very successful at work also. These people love variety, connected to work, so these people may also find themselves getting into different kinds of forums also at work, different departments also. Very, very devoted, but they also have a strong desire to manage others and to lead others also. And so these people will bring in a lot of fun, a lot of warmth also to their work. Now, some of the careers related to the Anuradha nakshatra can be people who can be related to the health industries, or people who can be in research or counseling or psychologists or psychiatry or marketing, audits, and even administration. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra Uttara Bhadrapada, where all 4 padas are in the Pisces sign, so here they will bring in the strong resilience, motivational approach, optimistic approach of Pisces sign energies, and the organized effort of Saturn rule, being a Saturn rule nakshatra as well. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada, these people are extremely adaptable, bringing in the Pisces sign energies and the Saturn energies, but yet be very, very skillful, working hard over a period of time and getting that expertise. And these people will also have a lot strong resilience, being able to complete long hours at work, being able to work very, very hard. And because it is a Saturn ruled nakshatra, while also being Pisces giving nakshatra, these people will be very benevolent, usually very, very cheerful, and these people can be sometimes self-sacrificing also for the benefit of the team, benefit of the department also. And so because of this sometimes unreasonable energies, they will face delays in their rise, delays in their growth also in career. So these people also have to endure some challenges, issues, even pain, have to go through the sacrifices before they get growth over a period of time. So usually sometimes these people can show their frustration, even show short-temperedness connected to work if the work that they are able to get is not showing the output and the growth that they are expecting is not coming by. Now, some of the careers connected to the Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra are people who can be very strong social influencers on the social media, people who can be motivational speakers, people who can also be into alternate healing, like say for example psychics or Reiki professionals, or people who can also be connected to the media, be quiz masters, people who can also be connected to the event management industry or even to NGOs. Now, when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra ruled by Rahu, now all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Rahu have all the 4 padas in the air signs, and so they will bring in a strong intellectual capability, the smart orientation towards work, but the social approach to work also, and the relationship connection related approach to work as well. But because these are the Rahu ruled nakshatras, they will also bring in a lot of hunger, a lot of intellectual capability also, but a certain degree of tactful energy also, clever energy also, how they get the output. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ardra, where all 4 padas are in the Gemini sign, so these are the people who will be able to use their communication skill, the ability to influence others, while at the same time the cleverness, the tactfulness of Rahu, and through that they will be able to bring better result to their work. So these people sometimes can be coming across as very clever, very calculative also, and very impulsive and stubborn also at times, so that the work gets done. They like to have a lot of independence at work, so they will be able to influence the team members, even the bosses, to give them a certain degree of flexibility, certain degree of space also. And because they are a little tactful, these people can come across also as somebody who is a little brash. But because they are Rahu ruled nakshatra, so these people don't want to get into unnecessary challenges also. So sometimes these people may bring about a fearsome approach to work, showing that these people have to be feared, while in the inside they may be more soft. Very, very secretive because of the Rahu ruled nakshatra, but also very changeable because of the tactful energies. But may come across are also, because of the high degree of overconfidence, and also arrogant. Some of the careers related to the other rule nakshatras can be people who are in the very high precision work, high technological connected work, people who are in foreign employment, people who are doing some breakthrough work connected to engineering, architects of very high order, people who can do a lot of very good investigative work, sometimes even people who can be connected to space and technology. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra Swati, where all 4 padas are in the Libra sign, so these people will combine the Libra energies of trying to create partnerships, relationships, but at the same time the intellectual capability, the tactful energy, even manipulative energy of Rahu. So combining relationship with the intellectual capability of Rahu is what these people will bring forward as results when the 10th house lord gets into the Swati nakshatra. So these people are somebody who are very, very self-confident, have a very, very strong resolve, like their freedom, very, very creative, very, very artistic in their work also. But because of their curious energy, these people can sometimes be too adventurous getting into those projects, getting into those work areas, which sometimes it will not be easy for others to handle. So these people may also bring in a lot of flexibility, having the Libra energy, but will also try to keep their cards close to their chest, bring in the mysteriousness through the tactful energies of being a Rahu ruled nakshatra. Overall, very social, very balancing, while being very fiercely resolved. Now, some of the careers connected to the Swati nakshatra can be people who are in HR professional work, designing work, people who are in the metal work, people who can be travel enthusiasts, people who can also be good negotiators, people who can also be business board members. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Satabisha, all 4 padas are in the Aquarius sign. So these people will bring in the expansive, liberal, philosophical, giving, high quality of work with the Aquarius sign energy represents a giving approach, a very, very high qualitative output approach of Aquarius sign, while bringing the intellectual capability being a Rahu ruled nakshatra. So these people can bring in a lot of adaptable energy connected to work, and they will be quick to learn from their mistakes, and they will have a very societal approach to work also, trying to do something or give back to society also. People who are high degree of problem solvers, very, very visionary, and sometimes because of being high visionaries can come across as very stubborn, very opinionated also in their approach. And so usually these people, because of these stubborn energies, may also have setbacks in their relationship. It will not be easy for them to be able to handle the relationship while getting a work output. And so these people will also sometimes go into their own shell, will probably like the seclusion also. But they have very deep knowledge, and if the work doesn't get done to the way that they want, they can also be very harsh in their speech or come across as very brusque in their speech also. They have a very, very strong inner potential, can sometimes be very, very talkative, and through the way how they are able to influence others and being adaptable, they will be able to get their work done. Some of the careers connected to the Satabisha nakshatra can be people who can be healers, say for example surgeons, people who can be in problem solving, like for example in taxation, audits, analytical work, in the occult or alternate healing, people who are in research, in pharmacy, even social work, even government related work. Now when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Ketu, all the 3 nakshatras ruled by Ketu will have each of the 4 padas in the fire signs, whether it is Ashwini nakshatra or Magha nakshatra or Mula nakshatra. Each of these nakshatras have all the 4 padas are in Aries or in Leo or in Sagittarius. So because it being the fire ruled nakshatras, or having all the 4 padas being the fire sign, so these people are very, very passionate, very, very independent in their work, but people are very, very confident and also bring a certain degree of artistic denotation to work. So when the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Ashwini, where all 4 padas are in the Aries sign, they bring in a lot of dynamism, a lot of spontaneity, a lot of action orientedness to their work. And so these people, because they are very, very goal oriented, they also like a lot of independence. So they have a lot of thirst for leadership also, and because of being very, very fierce, they may come across as being a little inconsiderate also. Sometimes because of being hasty in their action, they may come across as also being a little foolhardy, over heroic as well. But be very, very faithful. They will also be very good team members, be very good in partnership, also be very, very giving. But because of being short tempered, having unsteady mind, they may lose their focus in their work easily if they don't enjoy the work and if they don't find the work output coming even from the materialistic end. Now some of the careers which are attached to or can be connected to the Ashwini rule nakshatras can be people who are therapists, psychologists, traders, can be very good in planning, can be good physicians, surgeons, can be very good music organizers, can be connected to transport, can even be people who can get into adventure sports also. But a lot of healing energy is something they bring to their work. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Magha, where all 4 padas are in the Leo sign energies. So, being a Ketu ruled nakshatra, but 4 padas in Leo, so these people bring in a lot of responsibility, accountability, wanting to give a strong output without sometimes consideration even to themselves. So, these people have strong beliefs which they bring to work, and sometimes can bring in a lot of orthodox approach to work also. And so usually these people take pride in how they work, how they are very, very process oriented, how they can also bring about a very structured approach to work also. So come across as very, very ambitious. Sometimes these people feel entitled because of the Leo sign energies, that I am entitled to space, I am entitled to being able to be given more authority at work also. So because of that, these people can also showcase a certain degree of superiority complex also, even certain degree of arrogance also at work. However, these people, because of the approach to work, can also attract a lot of respect from the team members, even from the supervisors. Some of the careers which can be connected to the Magha nakshatras can do a lot of good work in government related work, government related projects. These people can be very good in administration, very good politicians, very good civil servants, can get into civil services also, liaising people, dealers, and also people who can be very good leaders also connected to the public works. Now, if the 10th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Mula, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign energy, so these people may bring in the adventure, the risk-taking ability, but the giving energy also of Ketu. So usually these people have deep-rooted approach to work, being very, very inquisitive, and will get to the bottom of work, will be extremely expertise, will bring in a strong degree of expertise to their work. And so because they want a certain degree of output, so they can be very control oriented also, but be very, very devoted also to their work. And while themselves they are very, very disciplined, they also want to get a certain degree of discipline from their team members also. Very inhibited to go out of the box, out of the boundaries, if their route oriented approach will not give them the flexibility to be able to go outside of the boundaries. So these people will go more in depth, trying to understand how the work should be done to the best of ability, rather than being too expansive in their work, too out of the box thinking in their approach. However, because they are very good experts, they can be very free thinking people also, where they expand their research and then bring in the creativity through the expansive, getting to the bottom of the things, and through the deep oriented, research oriented approach to work. Some of the careers connected to the Mula nakshatra can be people who can get into plantations, can be getting into agriculture, can be getting into forestry. These people can also be alternate healers, doctors, philosophers also, consultants, guides as well, even in engineering and to certain degree even in teaching. So friends, now that we have discussed how the 10th house lord, when it gets into different nakshatras ruled by different planets, will showcase a certain degree of creativity or forcefulness or adaptability or the philosophical or the optimistic approach to work based on which nakshatra they are getting in. Please see in which nakshatra your 10th house lord is placed in, and what doshas, what yogas, what aspects they are bringing in as energies, because those will also bring in their own flavors. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time, some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.